The phone rang at 11:47 p.m., and I stared at it, while the engine ticked itself cool beside me. I was already pointed toward home. Turning back was easy. Going forward meant riding straight into the Outback, in the dark, with fuel I hadn't planned to use. I could ignore the call. No one would blame me, but if I answered it, there was no backing out. Primera picked up. A bloke I barely knew was on the other end, voice tight. Words rushed. His sister's car had died outside a roadhouse that had been shut for hours. No signal. No traffic. She had a kid with her. The temperature was dropping fast. The nearest town with help was over 200 k's away. He asked one thing. Could I get there before sunrise? I looked at my fuel gauge. I looked at the sky. I said yes before my brain caught up. The mission was simple and brutal. Ride through the night, reach the roadhouse before the cold bit hard, and get them out. If I failed, they'd be stuck till morning at best. At worst, I didn't let my thoughts finish that sentence. Walking away wasn't an option once I'd said yes. Not when someone was waiting. By the time I hit the highway, the lights were gone. Just a ribbon of black road, stars sharp enough to cut, and that familiar Outback silence pressing in. Every kilometer counted. Every minute mattered. I kept the revs steady, saving fuel, telling myself the bike would hold together if I respected it. About 40 minutes in, the wind picked up. Not a brise, a proper side wind that shoved the bike around like it had opinions. I leaned into it, jaw clenched, shoulders burning. Road trains thundered past, their lights blinding, their wake trying to pull me offline. One mistake out here and no one would find you till daylight. That's when the dash flickered, just once. Then again, I eased off, heart thumping. Electrical issues at night, in the middle of nowhere, are the kind of problem that end missions. Primera pulled over, killed the engine, and listened. Nothing. No traffic. No insects. Just my own breathing inside the helmet. I tightened what I could by torchlight, fingers numb, knowing every minute I stopped was a minute they waited. When I fired the bike back up and the dash held steady, I didn't celebrate. I just rode. If you're into real Aussie biker missions like this, subscribe. Because this ride gets risky fast. An hour later, fatigue crept in. Not the sleepy kind, the dangerous kind where your eyes stay open but your brain drifts. Kangaroos flashed at the edge of the beam. One jumped late, and I missed it by a breath. The thud of air hitting my leg. I yelled inside my helmet, pure reflex, then forced myself to slow down. Getting there alive mattered more than getting there fast. Fuel became the next enemy. The gauge dropped faster than it should have. I did the maths in my head, again and again, adjusting speed, drafting behind nothing, hoping the numbers lied. I skipped the last servo, gambling I'd make it. If I was wrong, the mission ended right there, with me walking beside a dead bike and no help for anyone. The roadhouse lights finally appeared like a mirage. Dark, silent. I rolled in just after 3 a.m. and killed the engine. The cold hit instantly. Then I saw them, a woman wrapped in a jacket too thin for the night, a kid asleep against her chest, carboned up like it was asking for mercy. She didn't cry, she just exhaled, like she'd been holding her breath for hours. The car was worse than expected. Dead battery, cracked hose, no chance of a quick fix. I had a choice. Leave them and ride to town for help, or load the kid onto my bike and do 2 trips. Either way cost time. Either way, carried risk. I handed her my spare gloves and gave her the keys to my pannier with the emergency gear. Then I took the kid. I've ridden in storms, through heat that melts tar. But that ride back with a sleeping child pressed against me was the heaviest thing I've ever carried. Every bump felt personal. Every shadow felt like a threat. I rode slower than I wanted, faster than I liked. We made it just before dawn, help for you with. The sister arrived not long after, eyes red, hands shaking. No one said much. There wasn't anything to add. I rode home on fumes, body wrecked, mind wired. The bike had scars. So did I. But some lines are worth crossing. This wasn't just a ride. It was a choice. Tell me what you would have done. And if this story hit you, pass it on. Someone out there might need the reminder.